Everybody, Stef here with Studio Web, and in this video I'm going to answer a question that was recently put to me by a YouTuber, in fact. So let me get to that file here. Here we go, little screenshot. So, with the increasing presence of do-it-yourself website development sites like SquareSpace, I would be interested to hear what your thoughts are regarding where this leaves independent web developers in that market space. Kind regards, Steven. In a nutshell, we're screwed, man. It's over. I'm just kidding. It does mean that we're going to have to up our game. And I've been saying this for quite a while now, that the days of being a pure web designer where you just design are becoming more and more difficult over time, especially with SquareSpace and WordPress templates and companies that provide templates that are quite nice. Now, these things are not, they're not good for all businesses. They're not good for all sites, that's for sure, but they're good for a lot of sites. And the issue with that is, unless you're a really, and I said this before, a top-notch designer, the chances of you getting gigs as a pure web designer are far less than what they used to be just 5, 6, 7 years ago. I would argue that, although there's probably still business out there. That said, so what's the solution? The solution, of course, as it's always been, is to become more sophisticated in your skills. You got to know code. You got to know a bit of programming. You got to know how to use frameworks and use turnkey solutions. What are frameworks? Things like WordPress, things like being able to implement shopping carts. You got to understand basic coding, web app coding, whether you choose PHP, which is the #1 choice because there's so many things out there in PHP, or any other language, whether it be Ruby or Python, whatnot. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to get into that, and you're probably going to have to specialize at some point because what do we may specialize? You may become like a WordPress web designer. I coined that 7 years ago or whatever it was. Where you're the go-to guy when it comes to WordPress, whether it be installing WordPress and creating custom themes, modifying themes, adding extra functionality and creating custom plugins, or just setting it up for a noob small business owner who doesn't really want to learn web design but needs to get all these things put into place. That's a niche that I'm sure is, I know it can be very profitable for people. And so on and so forth. There's all these different areas. So that's the thing. You're going to basically have to up the skill set. The days of being a pure designer, well, there's always going to be a demand for unique design. There's always going to be demand for that. But for the vast, especially as budgets are squeezed, people are going to be leveraging templates. And I've been an advocate of website templates for many years. Now, Squarespace basically takes the whole web designer out of the process to a certain extent. But those type of sites are extremely limited. And, I think you could compete in certain respects if you start leveraging, again, like frameworks and templates and so on. And you can sell people on that fact. So, for instance, it doesn't have to be WordPress. I just use WordPress because it's probably the most popular out there in terms of the content management systems, the CMSs. There's Drupal and Joomla, and there's others as well. But you can come in there, you could roll in there as a web designer and provide a lot of value and a lot of functionality just utilizing your WordPress, again, as an example, as your basic framework. Because with WordPress, some templates, throw in some plugins, and you got a lot of functionality very quick. So you as a web designer, you got to start thinking long-term, the upgrade, the upkeeps of the sites, the changes and so on. So yeah, Squarespace and those type of things, they're getting bigger and they're getting better now than they used to be. Now they've been around for years. And I think you're just going to have to up your game. That's all. So education is the key, more skill sets, and getting into actual web coding, web programming. Again, you don't have to be an expert coder, but you have to know your way around the key languages like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, a little PHP. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to write JavaScript from scratch. You're going to get into jQuery. But if you know JavaScript, you're going to be able to use jQuery and make little changes to it that you might need much more easily than you would if you don't know JavaScript. And to know PHP, you know, like so many things are written in PHP, carts and shopping carts and forums and you got WordPress and Drupal and Joomla and a whole bunch of other things. So just knowing little PHP will open up a lot of potential gigs for you. So that's my 2 cents.